You got a tattoo? Then you gotta have a story behind it. Coming up, Matty Massacre and Cassandra. You're gonna love them both.
Baseball guy here coming to you from Houston, Texas. And we've got Matty, who's an artist and who's also a canvas. Matty, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, well, it's awesome to have you. You got some awesome tats. And one of the first things you told me about was these movie tattoos. And you got some of your favorite movies. So tell me, what are your favorite movies and what are the tattoos?
When I was 18 and I had an apprenticeship, I was asked pick my 15 favorite movies, and they'd get tattooed on my leg at every convention that we go to. I have Derek Zoolander, American History X, when Edward Norton's getting arrested, which is controversial. And
How so?
well, he still has a swastika on his chest because it's a tattoo on a tattoo. And at 18, I didn't really care, but it was a very influential movie because it's against racism and shows you what that path leads to. And I thought Zoolander above him would be hilarious. And I got Bill the Butcher above that one and Crybaby crying right next to him. So it's just I got a lot of portraits on the left.
So the swastika on Ed Norton is an anti-racism thing because we're talking about his character that obviously has a change in the movie.
Yeah, that movie to me showed that people in all forms of life don't necessarily think about the civil rights movement and everything that teacher or principal at the time was trying to teach him. And it took him having such horrible things to happen to him and then his brother dying at the end to really just bring it all into, he caused a lot of that hate and a lot of that karma that came back to him.
And so now a lot of your tattoos here, you've got a lot of interesting color, a lot of some realism and things like that. Why don't you tell me a little bit about like kind of the style of tattoos that you like to receive?
That actually changes. So when I was 18, I thought I only wanted neo-traditional or black and gray realism. Now I'm blacking out my whole right arm, and I have Norse symbols that are going on there that actually are glow in the dark. And no, they're not black light. They're actual glow in the dark that I got a special bag of this powdered pigment that does not cause cancer. It does not burn or irritate the skin. And no, I'm not going to tattoo anyone else with it because it's mine. But I do tattoo a few other people with it.
Wow, glow in the dark. I mean, now you just better hope you're not doing anything illegal and getting hiding out from the law.
It's from 25 years ago, so I was doing a touch-up on some tattoos of people that is the line of actual Sailor Jerry. So I actually got a tattoo machine out of it, and it's, I don't know, it's so old, and tattooing is still kind of punk rock and piratey, so even though it looks like salons everywhere, when COVID happened, tattooers were still tattooing because people are bored, and they got a lot of money, and they're not doing anything to spend it, so people were tattooing despite what they want to tell you.
Well, and where I live, it's a little bit different because the shops have become a little more mainstream. And I think that's been interesting is to see how tattoos, and I'm sure you'll know this, like when you were 18, it was really rebel, right? And now it is getting more mainstream, but I think in certain areas it's probably more mainstream than others.
It's getting very mainstream because there's places like here in Texas that does not have licensing. So everywhere else, you have to go through a licensing process, and you have to go to the health department, you have to get blood work done, and you have to get TB tested. But in Texas, you don't have to. So it's more self-regulatory out here because if you screw up, you have 1,000 other artists that are going to call you out. And during the COVID pandemic, whatever people want to call it, a Texas tattooers, almost a union popped up so that we could open up because we weren't allowed to open at first, but we showed that we can all stay safe and do a good job and make sure that other people don't get anything. And we were allowed to open the next day. And none of us have licensing, but we have a shop license, but not a personal license. So it's a little easier to become a tattooer here in Texas.
How long have you been doing tattoos?
I have been tattooing professionally for 11 years, but I've been tattooing since I was 15.
Okay, and tell me about the styles and some of your favorite tattoos that you've done.
My favorite style is called black work, and I do a very spooky version of black work. Normally I have full white face, black eyes, and kind of creepy, scary looking. The private studio that I'm doing is the Midnight Mausoleum, and it's where your memories become interned for life. So if that like explains that kind of creepy side.
And that's here in Houston, right?
Yeah, that's inside the loop of Houston. I love black work, but I also love vivid, bright colors, and I love kawaii, even though I don't tattoo it that often. It's just really bright, and it looks really nice. And now that we have new technology, new inks or pigments, new things that go into it in development, and I just love really high contrasty work, whatever it is. I don't even focus on style anymore because you're putting yourself in a box when I just want to do art every day, pretty much.
I love the idea of contrast. We had a woman who had all of her arm was like black and white realism, and then on her leg she was getting a bunch of colorful things, like vivid colors, and a lot of like imagination things to have this unbelievable contrast. So it seems to be really a kind of a trend to do something that's contrasting.
Yeah, people hyper focus on I have something here, I have something here, I gotta, kind of even it up. You have to do high contrast art, and you don't necessarily have to do much of it nowadays, but the ink will eventually start to be bleached out by the sun and whatnot. So if you have high contrast, all the light stuff will fall away, but you still have all the darks that are gonna hold on to it. And for a long time, we thought that only black people could have high contrast art. But now we are starting to be able to put teals and bright pinks and all sorts of things into their skin because we have new technology. So now the market has actually opened up for people with very dark skin.
Wow, that's fascinating. I mean, it's really cool just how technology is making a world of difference in the world of tattoos. It's really amazing. Now, looking at you, you've got a lot of ink here. What is your next tattoo for yourself?
My next tattoo for myself was getting my entire throat blacked out, and then they were going to take a scalpel and cut in a design of my choice.
Pain?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. I hate getting tattooed, but it's not that bad. As long as you relax and just kind of chill and you have a good experience or a good relationship with your artist. A lot of times, if you don't trust your artist, you're going to have a bad time because you're going to think, oh, he's overworking it, or oh, he's making my arm like hamburger meat. But if you trust him, you kind of just end up taking a nap.
And who do you utilize for your tattoos?
I don't know. I don't really get tattooed that often. Every time I draw something, somebody offers me money for it. And then I'm like, well, I guess I didn't need to get that tattooed. Usually, though, I'll go home to Las Vegas or I'll go to L.A. and try to get some tattoos from there. But they all hop around so much, and their names are changed all the time. So I only know their Instagram handles now.
Well, if you want to shoot some of those Instagram handles, we can flip a few of those up on the screen here for you. We definitely will be shouting out your tattoo shop, and it sounds like they get a really rad experience there. So that's pretty awesome. Loving the work here and all this kind of stuff. I mean, the bat here. I mean, it just...
You take blood from this vein, so I thought it'd be hilarious to have a vampire bat right there, And then what goth kid doesn't have a bat tattoo?
That is true. I have $1 for every bat tattoo. We'd be loaded here. So, loving the look, man. It's just an awesome look, and wow, just great stuff. Anything else you want to share with the group today?
An interesting 2 tattoos that you guys probably not have come across is I have a mustache on my dick because you wear it or ride it, and my balls say teabag. So 18-year-old apprentice Matty, that was how you learned how to be gentle and light-handed. So at least if anyone gets tattooed by me, I'm light-handed. Pretty much.
Did you do those ones yourselves?
You have to do them yourself.
I believe we call that a masturbatory tattoo. Oh my gosh.
It was kind of rough, but we were watching Super Troopers, and Who Wants a Mustache Ride? It just kind of it fit. I don't know, because everyone was doing them on their fingers, so I thought it was funny as an anti-joke. But that's what tattooing is. It's just making a silly commitment to the oh no, it's for the rest of my life. Will I regret it? Who cares? It's funny still.
Well, lucky ladies to get to do the mustache ride here with Matty. Oh my gosh. like this video. Please comment and comment about the mustache rides or anything else in this video. And please subscribe to our channel. This is Baseball Guy and Matty, and we're checking out. Baseball Guy here coming from Houston, Texas. And I got one of Houston's finest tattoo artists, Cassandra. Cassandra, why don't you tell me a little bit about the tattoo style you love to do and the shop that you work out of?
Pretty much my tattoo style ranges anything from micro tattoos to big thigh pieces. I can do black and gray work, color work. I like custom things, things where my clients let me have artist creativity and freedom on it.
Okay. And what's the name of your shop?
Southpaw Tattoo Parlor. It's in Pasadena.
Okay, they're in Pasadena, and that's Pasadena, Texas, not Pasadena, California. For us Californians, I'm a Californian, so I'm sorry. But it's awesome to be here in Texas. And how long have you been doing tattoo work?
I've been doing tattoo work for 10 years now.
Okay, and then how long since you got your first tattoo?
Oh, I want to say almost 11 years, maybe 10 years. It was right around the same time.
Okay, and what was that first tattoo?
Jesus fish on my butt cheek, actually.
Nice, nice, nice. The old Jesus fish. Yeah, I usually put Jesus fish on my car or something like that, but not on my butt. But what kind of comments do you get about that? I mean, I know not everybody gets a chance to see it, but...
Usually the comments get made back in the day when I was drinking, and it would happen to end up showing somehow. And it's usually comments like, "Oh, it swims."
Oh my gosh, that's awesome, awesome. And so when you started tattooing and people, were seeing, that you didn't have any tattoos other than the little Jesus fish, right? Did they make any comments about your lack of tattoos?
Yeah, actually, the tattoo shop I apprenticed out of, the boss had told me that no one would trust me to do their tattoos if I was ink naked. So the big piece on my side is actually a mandatory tattoo that I got as an apprentice.
Okay, and tell me about it. It's like a Pegasus?
It sure is. The whole idea behind it sounds cheesy, but that's kind of my spirit animal. Like, everybody always sees one, but nobody catches one. And if you do see one, nobody believes you. And so I like the style of it. I like that it looked like a pencil drawing. And so that's why I got it.
It is very light, and like you were saying, it's a little different from traditional style, right?
Yes, and that was my favorite thing about it.
Awesome. And then you've decided to keep getting a few more tattoos, and some of them you've done yourself?
I have.
All right, so what else do you have going on?
So on my wrist, I have the words "It Be Like That," just as a reminder to myself, if I go through anything hard, like, you know what, it do be like that sometimes, kind of cheesy. I have my family name on my back.
You obviously didn't tattoo that yourself.
Oh, no, not at all.
You're not that double jointed or anything.
No, there's no way I'd be able to see it. Maybe like in the mirror or something. I don't know. But yeah, that one took all day, and it was almost like a celebration tattoo because I was celebrating my divorce. I was like, you know what? Nobody else's name is going to be on me except mine.
There you go. We've had a few people here in Texas already that are going through divorces or have been divorced, and they have these tattoos celebrating their freedom. So it's a really cool style, huh? And it's kind of like in the back, like this is like the core of who you are, right?
Yeah, on top of that, I'm really proud of my family tree that I come out of. We have a good history. This is really like, I don't know, significant historical stuff that happened with my family. Came over from France. Whatchamacallit? You'll have to excuse me. My brain just decides to crap out sometimes. That's just what happens. It just ran out of steam.
Mine does that sometimes too. That's what coffee's for, right?
Exactly. I stopped at 2 cups. Usually I got to go for 3. Should have just went ahead and went for 3. And then with the Texas heat today on the way over here, yeah, no, my brain's like, we're done now. Like,
yeah. Baseball Guy hasn't dealt with this kind of humidity in a while, but it's awesome to be able to come out here with some Texas folk like yourselves. And now you also have a pretty cool tattoo on your ankle. It's a little itty bitty one, but this was also done by your favorite tattoo artist, right?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's the one that I trust the most.
This obviously was done by herself. And tell me a little bit about the process of tattooing yourself. And how does that hurt? How easy is it to be able to do that, especially if you're looking at it from different angles?
The setup process is typically the same. I set up my station the way I would if I was tattooing on somebody else. The difference is positioning for actually tattooing. The stencil goes on the same. I wait the same amount of time for it to dry, and then I go ahead and get started. But to actually get started and finish through, the position I hold needs to be able to be held the whole time I'm tattooing. And with as small as I am and as uncomfortable as the chair gets, I had to take breaks because, my butt fell asleep, my leg got cramped. I was being a weenie because it hurts, and I had to stop and get some numbing cream. Yeah, no, I was a big baby for that one.
Oh my! But it's turning out, and it has a pretty significant meaning, correct?
Yes, that tattoo is actually my favorite color one that I have because it represents my kids. The blue heart is for my son, who's 7 now, and the little crown is for my daughter, and she's 2.
And I hear your daughter loves makeup.
She does. Every time mommy does makeup, she has to be able to do makeup too, whether she's good at it or not.
And do you have plans for future tattoo?
Actually, I'm really indecisive. I don't have any idea what I want next. I know for sure I want it to be on my arms, just so people can quit hassling me about being a tattoo artist that doesn't have tattoos showing. Because the little one on my wrist usually gets overlooked. They're like, oh no. I guess they think it's a note or something that I made for myself. I don't know. But definitely some black and gray work on the arms is what I'm looking at next. That's what I'd like to do.
Did you think you would get this many tattoos when you got the Jesus fish?
No, I really thought that was going to be the only one. I was like, I'm only getting this one because I need it, because I'm on Fort Hood. Just in case I need some Jesus to cover my ass, I'm covered.
Well, thank you for your service. Thank you for your time today. Definitely check out her shop. And, thank you for letting us check out these awesome tats. This is Baseball Guy here saying, please like this video. Comment about just how lovely she is. Hit that subscribe. Just bam it. And then check us out.